Hey guys, welcome to the first video we're doing here. We're going to be upgrading the headlights on the Buick. Before we do that, go over real quick. We're going to we're going to put a new harness in place for the lights, because the stock lights, the harness for the stock lights was for 45 and 55 watt bulbs. You can't put much more on there without causing a little bit of too much draw on those wires. So we got us a harness from Kerbin's. And it plugs right into the factory wiring. Has two 80 amp relays, big heavy wire in it, so you can run bulbs in it up to 100 watts if you want to, using the old style H4s. We're going to be putting LED lights in it, but I figured it was probably just a good idea to get rid of the old crappy wiring anyway. So all the old wiring is going to do is switch to relays, and the real load will run straight off the battery. Now the headlights we're going to be installing are a set of I got from Amazon. Had a lot of good reviews on them. Much brighter than the stock ones, and they look like this. Get them turned over here. And there you go. So those are going to be the new headlights once we get them put in. I'm going to wait for it to get dark here before I do the rest of the video. I want to get a before shot so we can definitely see the difference here. So, well, it's almost dark enough here to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around. And the car is not running. We're just going to turn the lights on and see how it looks. Now those are the stock headlights. See the spread, you can see how bright they are. You can walk around front here. Now, I know that looks awfully bright, but in the middle of the night it doesn't go very far, so hopefully this video will be able to show the difference. Alright guys, quick rundown of what we're doing. First we're going to run the harness. Then we'll mount the headlights, put everything back together. Oh, and don't go hating on my custom CCM hood prop there, okay? Alright, so here's the harness itself. And I've kind of laid it out here so you can see where we need to hang it. It's going to be a lot easier to pull that battery out, because these relays need to mount back under here, under these relays. These relays are for my fan harness from Racetronics that run my Intrepid fans. So I've already got a bigger post on both sides of the battery to run extra stuff. I don't have a whole lot of accessories. I've just got the fans that run up to it, and I've got leads for my Holley EFI computer to have its run to the battery. But what I noticed when I was looking is there is, I don't know if we'll be able to see it on the video. Nope, I got to get my flashlight out. There's already a wire and a conduit right there. It runs the whole length. So I'm going to pull the sill, and then we're going to just zip tie up to that guy and run all the way across there. Alright, so let's get the battery out, get the sill plate off, and then we're going to get started. So I forgot to turn on the other camera when I did some of this work here, but you wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. So I'm just gonna duck you guys down in here real quick and show you. So these are the relays for the fan, or for the fans, and then down underneath here is where I put the relays for the harness. You'll probably have a much easier time putting it in there. There's a hole right there on the side of that void for where the headlight harness goes through. Those are the back of the headlights over there. Any questions with that, let me know. Alright, before we finish running this side and start zip tying everything down, I'm going to remove these headlights and make sure that I drop the new harness in the right spot. So we're going to remove the headlights. The first thing we need to remove is the headlight bezel. It has torque screws in it, which you may or may not be able to see. There's one there. There's one there. And there's two on the side. There's also this marker light in here, so before you take this bezel out, make sure to remove that light and be really careful taking this bezel out. There's not a lot of them around anymore, and if you can find them, they're usually chrome because they're off of a regular Regal. You'll need a T15 Torx to take these out. Alright, now we got the bezel off. We need to take out the holders so we can pull the bulbs out. There's two screws at the top, two at the bottom. Take note of that one in the middle. That's one of the adjusting screws. You don't want to touch that. We may need to do it later once we get the new bulbs in, but for right now, don't touch it. The second adjusting screw is here and here. But you should probably already know that at this point, right? Alright, let's get going. Alright, so here we are. Got the headlights removed. These plugs for the original headlights are the ones that are going to plug into our new harness. Take note, the low beam has 3 connections, while the high beam has 2. The new connectors have 3 on each side, but when you look at the back of it, it only has 2 wires or 3 wires, so it's pretty easy to figure out. So our next step is going to be to drop this down, start zip tying our harness up, make sure that we get all of this in the right place. And I'm probably going to reach in there and clean those connections up a little bit too. So I'm feeling out this new harness. And I've got the connector here where it would be to plug into this headlight, but what I found out is the ground wire that they want you to run, they want you to run it back to this. But when you do that, that plug won't reach. So we're going to run it right here to this guy. It's on the same piece of metal, and there's this strap that I added a long time ago that runs straight from the battery to this panel, so it should still be a good ground. But that's the way we're going to run it. We're going to plug this guy into our 3-prong. Not that one, that's the high beam. It must have fell down in here. It did. So we're going to plug this one into the 3-beam. That's the only one you plug into the stock harness. And I'm going to wrap it with harness tape, just try to keep the water and stuff out of it. So I'll get that all buttoned up and we'll give her a good look. Alright, we're a little bit closer. Got the lights in. Looking pretty cool. One thing I did notice on this kit, so the grounds for the lights run from the 3-wire plug off of a ring terminal that you're supposed to ground to the body. The one for the high beam does not reach where it should. So what I did was I grounded it here, and I made a jumper wire that runs over to this ground spot that actually runs all the way to the battery. So I'm hoping that'll be good there. So what we got left to do is we're going to put the battery back in, hook everything up, and I need to finish running this underneath of the core support and zip tie it up and get those wires ready to go. And then we're going to hook them up to the stock lights and hopefully be able to do a side-by-side comparison of how bright they look. Of course, we're going to have to wait till it gets dark for that. All right, I've removed my custom CCM hood prop rod so we can do a side-by-side comparison on this bad boy. Let me turn off the flash here and see if I can find the light on the car, and we're going to see how they look. Wow, look at that difference. Not only in the brightness, but look at the spread. I know it's kind of hard to gauge across the air tank there, but I mean, that's bright. Looks like I need to aim them a little bit, but other than that, wow. I'm pretty impressed. Let's see what the high beams look like. Wow. That doesn't look that much more brighter to me. Oh, maybe because that one's out. We got two shining there. Look at that. That's pretty. All right then. I guess we're going to finish this up. And we'll get her done. See you guys in a bit. Well, I think we really proved that the new lights are a hell of a lot brighter than the old ones. So right now I'm going to go ahead and finish it up. All we have to do is finish the driver side and swap all that stuff out. It should be very quick. Everything else is hooked up. The custom CCM prop rod is back in place so I don't get hit in the head. And before anybody asks in the comments, yes, that is still the Power Master. All right, so we got this side all wired up. You can see the new connectors are into the new harness. And the old connectors are actually still alive, so I went ahead and taped them up with harness tape. I'm going to zip tie them up out of the way here, and I just wanted you guys to be able to see that. And we also ran our jumper wire between the ground points to make sure we had a good ground for this side. So we'll put the bezel back on, tidy up the wiring a little bit, and we'll be done. All right, so we got everything cinched up, put back together, and we actually had an issue. The high beams and the low beams were staying on at the same time. Didn't make much sense. So I got my voltmeter out, started back probing the plug. And what I came to find out is the plug from the new harness, see the white and the blue, that's where I have them now because that's what works. Originally, the blue was in the bottom and the white was on the side. So I just had to depin it with a small screwdriver, put it back together. I'm going to wrap this back up with tape, make sure it stays nice and weatherproof. And other than that, it's been a huge success. And yeah, we'll do a outside shot here soon so you guys can all see it. guys, so we're outside now. As dark as it's going to get around here. We're going to fire the car up, try the lights out, and see how it looks. Let me get her fired up first, then we'll give you a good shot. Wow, look at that. Look how bright that is. Now, I might need to adjust them a little bit, but I am on a bit of a slant. I'll get them somewhere and aim them up, but that's so much brighter than the stock light. Like, I really can't believe it. Let me close this up here. We'll take another look. All right, well, next we're going to do the high beam and see how they look. Upgrade for your G-body. If you're looking for it, you throw the harness in, you can throw in the better H4s, or you can go up to the LEDs. All of it's going to work, and it's so much brighter. I mean, really, guys, you look at that. You just can't beat that. That's as bright as it's going to get. So thanks for watching the video, guys. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'm probably going to do a few more. I guess we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching.